And hello. Of course, nobody's here yet, but oh well. If you're here watching this either pre-recorded on Twitch, oh, there's Narthor. Well, if you're watching this on pre-recorded on Twitch or on my YouTube archives, welcome. Tonight's just going to be yet another character night, as in I'm going to be doing one of these guys. I haven't decided who yet. So I know that we still have the problem of the disparity of humans, elves, and dwarves versus almost no gnomes or halflings. Oh, excuse me. So, I realize that a gnome bard is pretty... Maybe we could do a Halfling Paladin, I think that sounds like a great idea for tonight. If I can stop these hiccups. Yeah. And, yeah. Shinju's asleep. Or mostly asleep. They squeeze her under the chin. Yeah. This is my baby girl. And anyway, actually, I'm going to have to take a very brief pause. I will be right back. Okay. There we go. I'm back. Poke the nose to the kitty. Anyway, yeah, okay. Kitty wants head pettings. So, I'm gonna make a Halfling Paladin. So, let's go back to Daz Studio. Oh, by the way. No, I can't take this. My paints came in. Where did I get that? I've even got them kind of sort of organized and stuff. And the extra paints that I had before. There. What are you doing, Fuzzbutt? So, anyway, like I said, let's go into Daz Studio here. Now, one of the first things we got to do is we got to decide what do we want him to have. Well, obviously, we're going to go ahead and give him leg plates and hip plates. Oh. Fit hip plates to jointed base male. And fit the leg plates to jointed base male. And then we're going to give him the chest piece, because what this chest piece does, it's not so much that it is a chest piece as it helps blend the torso musculature away. give him a tunic skirt, because that will be his... No, that's too big. I have to make a different one to represent a hauberk. And now, before we add on anything, I've got to double check as we bring this down as a halfling. Okay, and now I gotta double check to see which of these two pauldrons fits him well. Alright. Pauldrons. Edit. Object. Geometry. Add smoothing modifier. And let's change this mesh smoothing to generic. 15. No, I'm still having problems with that. Dadgummit. So let's go ahead and select them and delete them. I've got to completely redo these pauldrons. And then how about these pauldrons? That's the same ones. Dadgummit. And then edit, figure, geometry, add smoothing modifier. And this is going to be 10 degrees of smooth. Yeah, there we go. And then let's not give him a helmet. He's going to be helmetless. Now, I'm going to go ahead and zero out the halfling, because what we got to do is we got to put his weapon in his hand now. Props. And hey, Crazy J. I made the dummy in 3D Studio Max. I rigged it in Daz Studio. And then I make the basic shape in here and the basic pose, and I sculpt it in ZBrush. Now, shall we give him a big old honking sword? Yes, we shall. We'll give him a great sword. Let's make it this one. Alright, left or right hand? Let's make it left hand. Think that sword's big enough for when he goes halfling? Because you'll notice the sword didn't change size. I think that might be a little too big for a halfling. Make sure I got this in the center of the hand for when I scale it. Let's put it right there. What that did was that moved the center of the sword to inside his hand. So when I shrink it, let's Z-scale it more than shrink it. There, that'll be big enough to be a great sword for a halfling. Japan thinks the sword looks right. I don't think it looked right. Yeah, because Japan wanted me to make it even bigger. So, no, I don't think so. Alright, that's our basics for clothing and weapons. Actually, let's bring us forward. Oh, that's too much, so 0.3. Yeah, just enough to have a gap there. Okay, now the next thing we got to do is we'll take jointed base male and expand from selected. I'm going to minimize the abdomen of the hip plates and leg plates, and minimize the breastplate entirely and the pauldrons. Alright, so what we'll do, we're going to go ahead and first we're going to tilt the hips, because, you know, you don't want them up. There we go. And side to side it that way. Yeah, that's a lot, but hey, he's a halfling. He can do it. Now this leg will go all the way out to the side just for the sole purpose of making room. Side to side down. And then bend the leg forward. There. And now from a front view, we're going to pivot the foot. And that moves this foot up there. Okay, now we're going to bring this leg back down. We're going to twist it to the side a little. And we're going back to the front view and checking that foot. Oh, I hate it when I do that. Okay. Right view, there we go. Frame. Okay, that right thigh needs to come forward, which is a negative bend. And then this foot needs to bend forward. Perspective view. Okay, now he's actually going to go a little bit more side to side this time because of how he's going to hold his sword. He's going to bend forward just a little, and then he's going to bend backwards and side to side this way. Because what he's going to do is he's going to rest the pommel of that sword on his hip and then be like, I am mighty. Actually, no. I am mighty. You know, that sort of thing. I'm going to twist the arm this way. And this color up. Bend this down. There we go. Now we're going to shift this shoulder forward a little bit. Twist up. Then twist it that way. Bend. And now we're going to close the hand. Now the easiest way to do this is actually what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to select something to throw in his right hand. And delete that dagger. And bend his right finger to a bit more. Bend, well, not bend, side to side this a bit more. And there we have Angry Halfling Paladin. Yay! So what do y'all think? Is that a valid... Actually, no, let's go ahead and give him a head. Give him a helmet. How about we give him a... Let's see what happens with these helmets first. Alright, helmet. Heavy full plate helmet. And then we select it. And we go ahead and edit, figure, geometry, add smoothing modifier. 10. Oh, that went so, yeah. 5. No. 3. Yeah, there we go. No, I don't like the look of it. Not on him. Delete helmet 5. So now let's try helmet 4. There we go. Helmet 4 works. So what do you think? Is he knightly enough? As I'm going ahead and taking a peek in a couple of the places real quick, while my brain just goes blue. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to hide the sword. We're going to hide the hip plates, the leg plates, the breastplate, the pauldrons, and the helmet. Actually, let me see. The helmet, we might actually be able to shrink it a little bit. And I have a Ralph. No, Ralph. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. Let go. Ralph, you're being a bit... Watch it. Crazy, crazy, crazy cat. Okay, shrinking it a little bit helped. I'm going to hide it, and I'm going to export this guy. Export. And this is going to be Hellion Body. I'm going to hide him, make the helmet. Oh, wait a minute. Need to make him visible. I do need to make the breastplate part of him. So file, export, Paladin body. Then I'm going to hide the pauldrons, or make the pauldrons visible, make the leg plates visible. No, I didn't do that. I meant to do that. Make the hip plates visible. Hide the body and make the helmet visible. Okay, this would be file, export, Paladin armor. And then I'm going to make the helmet invisible. Wait a minute, did I? Yeah, I forgot. Ah! I'm an idiot. I had the pencil. Make the toe visible. Yee. I had a problem with hidden body parts all over the place. And then we're just going to have the sword. I'll export Halide and sword. Accept. Okay, now comes ZBrush. And we're going to import the body. Going up here, we're going to append the armor, and then append the sword. But we're going to make the armor and the sword invisible because what we need to work on first happens here. Alright, as you can see, it's now time. I need to give this a few layers of subdivision and then dynamesh it all and smooth it out. Dynamesh of 768, blur of 0, dynamesh. Okay, now we're going to move in and shrink the mouse just a bit and smooth out where the breastplate hider meets the body. Also going to smooth out that part right there and the back of the leg and the buttocks are gonna fuse. That's gonna make them all one thing. Tiny little buttocks because he's a tiny little thing. Frame. Okay. And here. Also gonna blend in the shoulders a bit. They're a bit exaggerated on when you shrink them down like that. Oh, excuse me. Turn off lazy mouse. Make it a little bit bigger and turn it down a lot in intensity. I'm going to kind of pull this out. Now what we're going to do, we need to smooth out the back plate. Okay. Now, come on. Next thing is we're going to start masking off what's going to be the actual breastplate. So what we do, this is going to include down through the hip, because they do. Then we're going to shrink the mouse a bit. Alright. Now the reason I did that, and the reason I'm doing from under, come around, come under, and then kind of go this way. And then mark all this off. This is going to be breastplate. Yeah. Okay, now shrink the mouse so I can clean up where it's crossing over on the arm. Yeah, I have no idea what Mom's watching, but it sounds kind of weird. Okay. Frame. Okay, I need to make the mouse a bit bigger because I screwed up the front. The breastplate's front of the breastplate right here. And I screwed up the top of the shoulder here. Okay. This will be the actual breastplate. Subtool. Extract. Accept. Draw. Draw that to erase it. And now we go to geometry and we dynamesh it 256. And what we're going to do now is we're coming up here. And we're going to kind of draw up a little bit on this to kind of bring it, make it look less like a collar on here. And just a little bit of smoothing. There we go. Now, that's nowhere near done, because there's one other aspect to a breastplate we need to do, and that's the waist plate. Now what's going to happen here is it's going to come up from here, come down here. And then it's going to lose that, and then lose that. Now, it's going to come up towards the back here. And then cut this off. Sorry if I'm suddenly getting quiet. Now I'm going to go ahead and actually go all the way around the bottom, because this is also going to be extracted that way. And 1, 2. By the way, I noticed no one made any kind of goofy remarks about the idea of a Halfling Paladin. Obviously, he'd be a follower of Yondala, the Halfling deity of motherhood, etc. Now, I got okay. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead. I gotta clean off a little bit on this area right here, just to try and make it. Oh no. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down make it kind of a bit of a decorative scalloping going on, at least in the front. Okay, and now we're going to extract that. Accept. Draw. Draw. And now I've got to go ahead and on this geometry I've got to Dynamesh 256. Okay. Now I need to draw on using slash, and of course turning off lazy mouse and dropping it down quite a bit in intensity. I'm going to draw the seams in the armor. And then using add at half the intensity, I'm going to kind of sharpen it just a bit. Okay, now I'm going to make it on the actual breastplate. Do the same thing. Oh, and yeah, forgot to change it back to subtract. And then up top side. And then down the sides. And okay. Now the next thing is I'm going to make this much bigger and much lighter. And on this, make it a lot bigger. And just a bare slice down the center. And then smooth it. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to shrink this back down. Increase the intensity and drop the focal shift. And I'm going to start drawing in a little bit of flourishes. Oh, I need this to be sub. Okay. And coming from here, a swirl. I figured this style of ornamentation would fit a Paladin of Yandala. And then this little leafy okay. And then we're going back to the main one. Actually, this one we need to go ahead and subdivide it a couple times. Okay, now this one, it's going to come from here. Okay, and then from here. And then, whoop. Lots of ornamentation for this. And then and that's our fancy breastplate. Before we make anything else, we've got 2 more plates to make. The first is the codpiece. Okay, so make the waistplate visible just for this, and extract, accept. What in the... What has happened? Oh yeah, that's right. Wait a minute. I see. Okay, yeah, that's right. My brain went trying to figure out where the piece came from. Zoom out, geometry, Dynamics 256. Subdivide a couple times. And all we're going to do here is we're going to give it trim. And then a little bit of side to side. No, not side to side. And then bracers. So, because actually, forget bracers, we're going to give him male sleeves. After I give myself another soda. Now the way we're going to make those male sleeves is we're going to hide the armor, all of the armor. I'm going to smooth the elbows a bit, because, you know, cloth, not flesh, it's not folding into itself. And then I'm going to and I'm going to extract this at 0.2, at 0.01. Oh. Yeah. Draw. Draw. And now, geometry, Decimation 128. And then before I do anything else, I'm going to, let's see, right, smoothing. And moving, because that was way too far back. Move topological, that helps. Helps a lot. There we go, and then there we go. Now the other side. Whoa, no. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and do something similar with the waist here in just a second, but we're going to divide these right now while we can. And kind of pull them out just a little bit. Frame. And then draw him. There. No. Tilt a bit like this. Too much. Okay, and then we're going to extract it at 0.02. Accept. Select him and deselect. And then we're going to geometry, Dynamesh. And then, with a much bigger mouse than this, we're going to start lightly smoothing it in. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to make the waist plate and the crotch plate visible. And we're going to, with the crotch plate selected and move topological, we're going to grab it and we're going to drag it out a bit. Okay. There we go. And also, while we have this selected, we're going to grab it and drag it out just a little. And then slash add very low intensity. And let's drop that back up to 70. Okay. Frame. Hide the chest armor. And subdivide this a few more times. Then we're going to select our guy. We're going to merge him down with those. And we're going to Dynamesh him again. So what we do now, shrink the mouse, and we smooth over the seam. Actually, we're using the mouse for this, not the This is to hide the seam between the new bottom of the mail, and in this case the sleeve of the mail. We're going to assume that the neckline of the mail goes under the armor. Alrighty. And that is our, well, it can either be tunic or it can be mail. I figure he's going to need some smooth spots to counteract all the swirly bits that we're adding. So, just to show you what it looks like currently with everything except the sword. Let's select the armor itself and subdivide it a little bit. And then we're going back to move topological, and we're going to make it bigger. And one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to grab the bottom of this, and we're going to pull it out and make it bigger, because we want to make sure that he doesn't have any poke through. Poke through is forgivable in a video game character, not in a tabletop mini. Okay, and then I frame. And I'm going to be adding some swirlies on the shoulders. Excuse me. The shoulders and the hips here. Make this a bit bigger. Grab this, bring it up. Grab this, bring it down. Okay, lower. But before I do this, one thing I've got to... Actually, yeah, I've got to do that now. So we go back to slash, C sub, 18 or 17, that'll do. Okay. Now, we're going to start from the top of the hip, and we're going to come out. Oh, way too strong. Okay, and then over here, something similar. And on the shoulders, what we're going to do is first we're going to make a peak. No, I gotta... Before I do this, I've got to polygroup by autogroups. There we go. And we're going to lightly come... Oh, no, 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 too much. Okay. Now, frame. And we're going to merge the armor with the body so that I can basically repair some seams. Geometry, Decimation. Zoom in, shrink the mouse, and blend these seams. Okay. And same here. frame. I'm thinking he's looking pretty good. About the only thing we need to do now is bring that focal shift down to almost 0. Actually, no, let's bring that back to where it should be. Layer. Sub, stroke off. And increase it to 100. And what we're going to do is we're going to simply draw on too small. Hide this hand, please. Okay. Got holes in the mouthpiece now. And now we're going to make the details for the hand. And shrink the mouth. That's about good. I'm going to mark on the knuckles first with a faint following of that and just smoothing it. Oh, I need to zoom in real close here and swell the inside. And then we shrink the mouse again and put it here. Zoom out, and we're going to draw on the knuckles. Then I'm gonna blend these in because they're, you know, knuckles and stuff. I think next week will be a gnome barbarian. Yeah. Let's inflate that. Now you'll notice I don't inflate the inside of the hand on this one because this one's actually holding something. And then smooth out. Okay. Once I do this, it'll be time to start detailing the sword. Well, next up is actually going to be slashing between the fingers to make sure that they're nice and tight. Which is right about now. Slash. Okay. Frame out. And we have one last hand to divide the fingers, and then we're going to start detailing the sword. Okay. That's going to be here. And frame out. Actually, let's go back to layer. But we're going to make it add, and we're going to get a little bit bigger. Okay. Zoom out. Subtool, make the sword visible. So now we go to geometry and subdivide it a couple times. Wait, no. There we go. The first things we're doing, we're leaving the pommel as is, but we're going to add rivets along in here. So that's... Okay. So that, now one other thing we're going to do is we're going to add in a little bit of writing, or a little bit of... No. No, we're going to dynamesh it. Okay. Actually, I'm going to turn lazy mouse back on and make sure it's at a lazy radius of about 15. Yeah. What the heck? Oh. Let's see. Oh, brush, auto masking, and turn off backface mask. Yeah. Or turn on. Okay, and then the idea is that this is externally engraved. There we go. I think that's good enough for now. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead, subtool, and we're gonna merge them all down. And then we're gonna append one more. And that one more is going to be the base. Being halfling, the base is a bit large for him. But, yeah. Okay. And then new one. There we go. Now we offset by Z. Just a little bit back. And then by X just a little bit. Okay, frame out, zoom out. And we're going to merge down. Then going into geometry, we're going to Dynamash. Turning off Dynamesh. And the next thing to do is to take the Z plugin and panel and open it up. Go to Decimation Master. And because of all the little bits and bits and pieces, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with the 49K instead of the 35. I figure about 100,000 polygons should be able to capture this. Pardon me. I am Yawny McYawnerson right now. And it didn't work. So I'm going to try with, see what happens if we subdivide. That's going to give us 8 million polygons. Okay, and then I'm gonna hit custom. Analyzing mesh. Escape. Here we go. It's gonna take a bit. In fact, it might even make me lag. This is taking so long I might fall asleep. Escape. Aborted it. Let's go back down one. Higher. And now let's try it again. At 50. Analyzing mesh. And it's going to take 1/8 the time. If it works. Dun 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 dun. Hoo 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 hoo. Oh hell. Alright. What we gotta do now is we gotta go ahead and Dynamish again. This happens from time to time. There's like something will happen during the Dynamish that Decimation won't like. Okay. So now we try it again. Click. And it's stuck on computing, please wait. Let's try 75k. Oh, that's right, I forgot to turn off Dynamish. That was just to give a faint small area. Alright. Dynamesh. Now I'll have a totally different Dynamesh. Instead of 2.131 million polygons, if it'll do the calculation. It's not 2.08 megapixels, and we click 75K, but we'll click 50K. Okay, good. Please work this time. Dadgummit! What is wrong? Alright, now let's try. Whoops. Forgot to turn that off. Don't be doing this to me. Okay, screw. Divide. Delete lower. 35K. And hello, Square Peg. Sorry I didn't say hi, but issues with things. It still says computing, please wait. What the fuck? There were holes in the last version. That may have been what was causing the problem. And let's try it. Oh, let me see. That's the problem. If this has been the problem the whole time, I'll be pissed. Excuse me. Yeah, things are happening I'm not happy about. figure is done. The last step is the decimation, and it's not liking the darn gum. What the hell? Okay. Okay, now zoom out and try to make this fricking thing 35K. What? I said 35K. Dadgummit! What about 150? Let's make that 100K. That's 100K points. That's 200,000 polygons. No. Oh, it is 200,000 polygons now. Alright, let's try and bring it down to half that. There we go. 70,000 fricking polygons. Finally. And then we're going to export this. As Halfling Paladin figure.obj. Finally got it to decimate down to a reasonable polygon count. Grrr, arg. Grrr. Okay. That is Halfling Paladin. For those who have been suffering alongside me, I would like to thank you very much as I try to get this dang thing from several million to just 100,000 or so. Now I'm going back to this camera. And halflings just don't want to be paladins, I'm telling you. Good lord. So are any of you actually awake out there? Or is it just me talking to myself as usual? Because when I hit the @ sign, it only shows me as usual. Well, since that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and call it night since I got the halfling finished. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget the usual subscribe, like, blah, 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 push the bell, yay, ding, ding, more cowbell. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hold up 5 fingers. When it comes down to... Oh! Well, hey! You get to meet Carlton for a change. Carlton is a little brother of Ralph. They're technically the same age, but Carlton here is a bit more cowardly. He loves his daddy, though. Don't he love his daddy? Yes. God. Yes. Can I get a kitty kiss? Oh, yeah. This is what a kitty's for. This is what a kitty's for, being all snuggly. Yes, you can tell it's Carlton and not Ralph because no collar. Yay. Okay, well, I'm putting you down, Fuzzbutt. Yeah. Alrighty, there you go. Good boy. And anyway, like I was trying to say, I'm going to hold up my hand here, and I'm going to count down from 5 to 1. When I see one finger, I'm logging out. This is because there's several seconds of lag. So, just to do it, this is a 5, a 4, a 3, 2, 1.